I've mentioned many times little snippets about journaling in my videos on this channel. I realized only recently I've never done a video about the importance of journaling, psychologically speaking. That's what I want to do now. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I journal, why I journal, and the importance of why it's worth considering for you to also journal. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit also about why we don't. Stay tuned, and you'll hear some of my experience in this area. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. One thing I want to start with is the concept of journaling is, of course, been around forever. Almost forever, almost as long as people could write. But I do believe some of the cave drawings were journaling, what they were experiencing in life, going through their life. If you think of a hero of yours from the past, just go onto Google or whatever search engine you use, DuckDuckGo, and just type in that person's name, did they journal? Or look at their journals. And what you'll find is so many very famous, very successful people journaled. Not so that they could just leave behind something for others. It was part of their self-discovery, what they were exploring in their own thinking and mind. And here's the psychology behind it, just very briefly. When we face uncertainty, it creates anxiety. Just the way God designed us. We face uncertainty constantly, and at the pace almost all of us go. Anyone who's watching this video, you're at a very fast pace in life. That means things change frequently and uncertainty pops up very frequently. When uncertainty stays uncertain for too long a period of time, or being in the state of uncertainty, even if it's different areas, too long of a period of time, that prolonged anxiety will create the stressful effects on our body, this presence of norepinephrine and cortisol and adrenaline being inside. I think norepinephrine and adrenaline are the same, but that being inside of us for a prolonged period of time affects our heart. That's heart disease. We don't want that. Journaling reduces uncertainty. A big part of why it's uncertain is because we have such a tiny little short-term memory span. I think it's like 30 seconds or less. So we have snippets of information we're gathering about things that aren't clear to us, and our brain can't process them to get them into long-term memory to help figure them out. So it goes into short-term memory, ends up dissipating if we don't put it into long-term memory, and that thing still seems confusing or nebulous to us. Journaling, even if it's about past things, which I kind of more recommend about journaling about planning for the future, but even if it's writing about past things, or you're writing about something going on in the present, and I do handwrite. I don't use paper for anything else, but I do for journaling. But even if you're typing it, exploring what's going on currently, it helps it kind of soak into your longer term memory where you can now compare it. Your brain is going to compare with other things other models or heuristics that you've created over time. Or chunking, where you've come to a conclusion about something in life pretty confidently, and this new uncertain thing, now that you're writing about it, you're getting it into your brain to connect with something else that you've already kind of mastered or connected with. This is so powerful. Now, the reason why most of us don't journal is because somewhere along the line we got it into our heads that we're supposed to write out long things every day. And then when we can't, when we start trying it, we do, but it lasts for maybe a few weeks or most a few months. And then we stop writing in our journal daily. And then the next thing you know, we get kind of discouraged and like, oh, I forgot to do it. And then, man, I'm no good at journaling. There isn't a good journaling. There isn't a bad journaling. There isn't good journalers or bad journalers. I think the word is diarist is the actual phrase. And no, it's not a diary. Unless you want to make it one, dear diary, and put something in every day. I journal by looking for those times of uncertainty and then writing about them. I feel a certain level of anxiety, then I journal. It's not just so that I can keep a record of things, although sure, do that if that's what you want as part of your journaling. That's really not why I do. I do to untangle things in my mind because my short-term memory has lost it. Things float back in. I don't spend time thinking about it. I lose it because short-term memory dumps it. And then now the next time it floats in, I get a little anxious about it. That is so profound of a thing to do, is to stop and write. Now, the journal I use, it's called Redicy. I recommend these. I will put a link down below. I buy them on Amazon. They're leather. And let's see if I can get the camera to do it. If I do it too close, you'll see they're little tiny dots. These are Redicy dot journals, and it allows me to sketch things in there, of course, write in a straight line, but also indent and stuff to kind of make it more appealing for me visually when I reference it, or even as I'm writing it. Now, for those of you who are super creative type and having things lined up really messes with you, don't do it like that. Just get an open blank one, but the ones I use are Redicy dotted. You can get Redicy completely blank, Redicy lined, Redicy college ruled, whatever. But I find the flexibility of these, the size of them, makes them very easy to travel with, take with me wherever I go, leave out, etc. So I recommend, if you're thinking about journaling, start with a new journal. If you've journaled in the past and you felt like, I'm not really good at it, don't pick up an old journal unless there was a time when you were really doing it great and felt good about it, and now you can add to it. If you want to start new, get a new journal. I kind of keep them, and I've been journaling since, I think I started journaling in 1988, shortly after high school, right when I got into the Navy. That's kind of when I started it, and I've got stacks and stacks of them. Because I have a messed up brain and I get anxious about things. So I have to write a lot about things, okay? Another great thing to consider, and this is where I'll leave you, ask God for wisdom before you start writing. That's the source of where these insights come from. God designed our brain to work a certain way. We're going to gather intuition from our experiences. And when we start journaling about the uncertain things that create anxiety, we're going to just start making all kinds of connections, which is great. Ask God first each time we start to journal so that we can give him the glory. He's the giver of knowledge. He's the source of all knowledge. Let's start with that. If you're starting this process and having some difficulty with it, reach out and ask me for some input. I'd also like to hear from those of you who are already journaling and the success you're seeing from it. What makes it so impactful for you? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.